I speak first because I know people will watch the recording later, but I will sit here and kind of wait for people to join in as well. So, broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook, both at the same time through BeLive TV broadcasting. That is gives me the luxury of being able to do both places, to be in both places at one time. So we are recording live. Many are watching recording later, but it is like 5 o'clock, almost 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time right now, and we're in that new moony energy still. Like it's something that keeps going through. Sorry, I wasn't here early this morning, but I had a change of plans. I decided to go have lunch with my granddaughter and my daughter. So I went, had my injections put in my spine, and then drove to Penhold, came back to Leduc to be in here for a few minutes, and then I have to go teach. So I just wanted to stop in. Hello. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Catherine, Renee, Tracy, Felicia. Hi. I am just bringing up on my phone here so I can see here as well. So I got some sunshine that I'm avoiding here. Not that I'm avoiding the sun. I love the sun. Good evening. So I wanted to stop in for a few minutes, just for a few minutes, and be able to talk. You're going to hear a baby crying. I have a friend and her little son staying for a few days with us, and so he's having his own little moment downstairs. And so you'll hear a little guy crying. You'll hear my doorbell ringing too in a moment. So for those who are new, who have not been here and watched any of these new lives that I've been doing, which are normally in the morning, this is a general readings that I'm doing that are just kind of in the collective. They're a message that's for everybody right now. I feel like that's the best thing that we can be doing for the world right now, is to give messages that can inspire other people, to inspire groups, collectives, to be able to bring forth change. I don't like seeing people leave disappointed. It's by not being chosen or not be picked. So these are messages that are for everybody right now. I will be back doing my mediumship. I have not left my mediumship world. I have not abandoned that work. I have taken some time to really step back and put my focus into my teachings, into the school, into the oracle cards, and finishing up some writing, and to be present here in these collectives. So in these collective readings, in these group reading type of things. And you're also going to see some changes come in where I'm going to be offering some group coaching. And so for people who, can't do the individuals, you can join in and do group coachings with me. That'll be coming up. I am moving in May, so I'm trying to get all of that done. Hello, Brenda, Tammy, hi, Angie, Jenna, hi. So perfect timing, Catherine. It's always perfect timing for us, hey? It just works out that way. And Mary, hi. So if you've been watching my little clips that have been coming up in my stories on my page, those are little things that are going on TikTok. They're little readings, they're little 1-minute readings and stuff that are going in there. I am reintroducing the cards in TikTok, which then shares it over into Instagram. Everything is so connected. But let me start with the cover. So for those who don't know what I've been doing, this is the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. These are the collection of what has channeled through me and with the amazing artwork of Amelia Richard, who has brought the cards to life in such a beautiful way. I am forever blessed and thankful, with like my heart is full, that she could really truly see my vision so clearly and see it through to creation. Now we're just trying to get them into print. I haven't yet to print the newest version, the complete version. It's like, I don't know why I haven't, but I just haven't. I think it's going to go into the publishing company, wherever I choose to put them, to get a copy from them to see what it looks like in proper paper and proper form, but I don't know. This is the cover. This is the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards, and it's real funny because it's like people say, well, they got an angel on it. It's like, are they angel cards? They're a little bit of a representation of me and how I use my journey, my work to be able to help other people through my vulnerability and my exposure that I just speak of, everything that I go through. And so the angel really truly represents who who we are at the essence, being a spiritual being, having a human experience. And that's the journey that we take when we come here. And yes, her name is Grace to the cards. She was delivered on the day my granddaughter was born. And so she arrived that day, and Amelia had no idea my granddaughter was born. And I just found out my granddaughter was born, and then Amelia sent that card. It happened all the way through. So I call her, this is the version of what little Sadie will look like. So welcome. But we are going to do just a quick time in here today, a quick visit. So let's start with a card for today's energy and what we have happening. I just finished writing a new blog. If you have not read my other blog, there is another blog on my website that just went up last week, which I think Lisa posted last week or the beginning of this week. And now I have another blog that I just finished writing today, and hopefully I'll get that up. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Yes, I teach level 2 in shortly here, so we're in for a short period of time. But I took the day off to have lunch with my granddaughter. So today's energy is this actual energy. It is peaceful perspective. It is making peace. It is being at peace with what we cannot change. And there's so many things and your past is one of those things. You cannot change your past. And you have to stop believing that you can change, like you can change the past. You can correct the course and the direction and the projection that you have lived since your past, but you can't change the past. It happened. It is what it is. It is there. It is, you can't bring back, you can't take back, it's like your words. Once they're out of your mouth, you can't take them back. And so I really, truly do have I'm just bringing up the card. And so I really, truly do have a connection with really thinking through my words, because I know once your words are out, you can't take them back. So if you say words that feel like, you may be speaking something that you need to get out. And sometimes it's that it goes back to the want and the need, is you want somebody to feel what you feel, your pain. But honestly, nobody can feel your pain. Nobody can feel your story. Nobody can feel what you want them to feel. Like, we want people to connect, and you want people to feel your grief. I just wish people could know what I feel. Well, people can't, because other people are not you. We can all have a similar experience, go through something that looks exactly like, but we don't have each other's imprinted life that we've already lived. We don't have the same connection to emotions and feelings and all of those things. So it's an impossible task for people to fully be able to comprehend. They can have compassion for you. They can have connection to you. They can hold space for you. They can understand where you're coming from. And that's the beauty of the process, is to be able to understand where we have come from. And so peaceful perspective is that you don't go to war with yourself. You don't get into those internal fights with yourself anymore. You stop the arguments. It's like we get into our head, and then we get into this fight. And I always say this to my mother. I'm like, before you have to approach any situation, you have this big fight. And so we get into these big arguments in our head, and we already create the scenarios. We create how it's going to be. We believe, like, we just make the illusions. So it's like the imagination. Our imagination has such power to be able to believe in magical, beautiful lives happening. We can create that. Children create it. But our imagination and our creativity also has the ability to create powerful fear stories, to turn everybody in your life into enemies, to blame everybody for everything. And we create this enemy story. We create these wars. We get into this thought process, and we get so caught up in it that it becomes our reality. And if we can truly sit back, look at it in a new direction. I always say, so for me, and I'm not saying this is for you or how you do it. I said, Jesus is my friend. And my version of Jesus is not the same version that you have, that's like casting holy water and sizzling up and burning, and this whole sense of, if you don't be this, you're, Not that connection to Jesus. I mean, I hold the hand of Jesus like he is just one of us. He's an everyday man who somebody decided that they would create this big image of, but he was a healer who walked on earth. He was a man who was walking a path, a direction, to a way to be able to look at things in a different way, right? Why do we need to be inside that building? Why can we not just walk the streets and just be amongst all the people and just be with people? Why is that not enough? That's the kind of relationship I have. So I don't know if that's the kind of relationship you have, but that's my relationship. And so in that, I ask for the God consciousness, for the energy of that great, beautiful, angelic energy, that whole sense of grace to wrap around me, to allow me to make my decisions, to not truly allow me to create anything that is not of the highest good. And so that I don't get caught in the storms anymore. I don't get caught in my head stories so much anymore. That even if I'm in my head, I take time to ask all the questions to decide, is this a truth that I really is going to be my reality? And that's what I want you to ask yourself is that, what I am building up, the story, the momentum, the anger, the everything that you start to build on, and the desire to make things happen. It's like all of that you keep trying to make happen. Is that my truth? Is that my path? Is that my direction? Is that my words? Is that my is that my thoughts? Is that really mine? Is that my myself, or is that my fear self? Is that my truth? And when you can do that, you can truly start to be able to come home into the alignment to the mind, body, soul, and the heart connection, which is the middle road, which is the crossroads, which is what I speak of. It's that whole, the mind, body, soul to the heart, and be able to connect to the truth of the heart behind the heart, the truth beyond the stories, right? The heart beyond the heart. And so you have the connection of your heart that feels the hurt, feels the pain, feels the words of what everybody said to you, and you hold it to your heart, right? You hold your heart accountable for that, but it's in your head, but your body feels it. But that truth is when you can set yourself free of that everything that you're trying to own and claim, or every part of that past that someone's got to pay for, or that you're trying to bring forth into your future. The moment you can let that go is the moment that you can start to find peace, live in peace, find contentment. And I've been really writing through this lately. And I know this because of all that you see of everybody, everybody wanting to be somebody in the world now. Everybody feeling that, oh, I have to become somebody, I have to be seen, I have to be noticed. Before we had social media, before we did this, did you honestly believe that, some of the people that were out doing this work, did they do it because they felt the need they had to be seen? Or did they do it because it was something inside their heart? And it didn't matter if it was just in their community, if it was just at a trade show, if it was just amongst people, or did some just know you just had gifts and you just read tea leaves from a table and that was all you did, or you just read your Bible from wherever. And that was enough. And there was peace and contentment in that. But the problem is we have lost that connection to peace and contentment because nothing is ever enough anymore. And so when you can really truly see that, you know what, I probably have everything that I really truly need. It's like if I stop and look at what I have, I probably have everything that I need to provide for me that peace, that contentment, that happiness. Why is that not enough? And all of those things are things that I can tell you I have questioned myself of. I really truly have questioned myself of why you don't see me in that big push, that desire that I got to be online at this time. Like I got to be here. I got to spend 6 hours. I got to be seen all the time. I don't have such a big connection to what a fear story would give. Whatever is meant to be shall be. Whatever's meant to be yours will be. Make peace with all of that drive, all that push. Nothing wrong with having action and having a good intention to do things and to want things for yourself or to want to build a life for yourself. There's a difference. And so this is that beautiful, peaceful perspective, which is telling you that it's time to set everything free, and what is yours will always come back to you. What is meant to be yours? Set all that, all that struggles free. Set all that desire, set it all free. And the most peaceful thing you can do is take that weight of the world off you. Take that pressure off yourself to have to be something, to be somewhere, to keep trying to do these things, to bring this past forward, keeping it alive. You have right now. Right now is where the power is. There's a power in the energy of right here, right now. And this is where we can truly start to be able to ask ourselves the most powerful questions. Catherine, yes, so true about the enemy story. You are the only one that discussed this, right? It's so true, though. I mean, I'm a real realist here. Like I do talk about these things because these are things that are real. I said, I can't pretend sunshine and butterflies. It's like, that's not real. It's not real. It's not true to spiritual awakening. It is not true to any type of choice that you make to truly step into ownership and responsibility of your life. Is that the enemy, the biggest enemy that you make in this world is you. And then you make everyone else around you enemies. Hi, everyone else who's joining in. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you for being here. You're loving this, Lucy? Good, good, good. Yeah. And so there's such truth in that, that you truly, when you look at through it. So in my book, More Than Existing, I speak about the enemy in me. And I said, it was through somebody attacking me, somebody who created their story, the illusion of the story, that shifted, that took my words, turned them, manipulated, wrote some nasty, nasty things. And it was through that I could see what an enemy I had become in me. Because the moment I went to judge that person quickly and said, I can't believe they do that to me, I had to look at me and go, I can't believe that there's a possibility that I could do that to somebody else. That even if it was intentional or not, it didn't matter if it was unintentional. That I had something inside of me that let me speak in any way that was in any ill way of speaking about somebody else. Because I was in pain, tired, I was frustrated, I wanted to see things be differently, and because that's my meat delivery guy from Westlock, delivering my farm fresh meat. And so this truth of that enemy in me was that I was taking ownership and responsibility instead of laying it all upon, oh my God, I wasn't going to become a victim to that story. How could I be the change that I needed to see? What I didn't want to happen to me, I also did not want to project it on anyone else. And so I made peace with the fact that that was happening. I didn't turn those people into my enemies. I definitely know about boundaries, and I did put some serious boundaries within my life, but I don't have any less love or respect or dignity. Like treat those same people with the same dignity I would treat anyone else. I just know, I know the connection and what kind of world I want to live in, that if I'm having a bad day, that I'm safe, or that some say, that just don't sound like Corrie. Why would I even say that? That's just, Corrie, that doesn't sound like you. Are you okay? And no one stopped to ask me if I was okay. That was the thing. No one stopped to ask me, that doesn't sound like you. That is so not you. Are you okay? And I was not okay. I was so far from okay. And not once did anyone stop and blink and take a deep breath and look and say, that's not the Corrie that I know. And that's where if I see that, know that, I'm like, that's not really them. That's not them. So it's got to be something going on. And so I had become such an enemy with me. And that's what we do to ourselves, right? We become that enemy. And so this card really, truly represented that peaceful perspective. When I could look at all sides, I could make peace. I didn't want it. I'm not someone who likes to have enemies. And I'm not somebody who would intentionally hurt anybody. I carry hurt and pain on such a level that I ended up with hurt and pain, that I live in hurt and pain, that I have those things, because the last thing I would take the last freaking lashing of anything rather than do that to somebody else intentionally. And that's the truth. But, we do it. We're still humans. So being able to make peace with the fact that you are a human being is the biggest thing that you can do. Right? Yeah. And so returning to the best of us and the truth of us, it also gave me the opportunity to do the healing work that I needed to do for my body. I do have to go for spine surgery here eventually. But that's some things that are just, it is what it is. But I'm in much better shape because I can walk, I can stand, I can even feel parts of my hands that I couldn't feel before. So there's a lot of things that have changed. And so speaking of that, we have benevolence. And so we have the benevolence and we have that essence of, so she's card number 33. And she is, let me find her. She's absolutely beautiful. I love this card. And as soon as I seen this card, I fell in love with this card in so many ways. And so this is Benevolence. This is Perphone is what we called her. This is her name. And so the one in the front, neither one of these women are being phony. They're, unless she's in reverse, right? Unless it's in reverse, we may have some jealous, some envious coming in. But yay, 33, right? And so, but she's truly, you know, the one that's in the back, she's just unveiling herself. She's just coming out of being cocooned. She is exposed, she's raw, she's vulnerable, and she is witnessing, she is observing and witnessing an experience where she can feel something that she would love to feel in herself. She would love to feel that. So it's not a jealousy and envy story. It's a truth of, you know, she's living as herself. I'm admiring that she's confident, that she's strong. And the one in the front is confident, strong, and she's sharing her light. The more empowered and embodying of our light that we are, the more that we have to share. We don't have to take away what we don't have to give. We have to fill ourselves up, and we have to make sure that we take time for us as well. And so the reason why she's cocooned back there is because she is taking the time. She's not ready to come out into the world. She's not ready to expose herself all the way out there. She's just observing. She's watching. She's just looking at the beauty of what it means to be a benevolent being. I would never have used those words about myself until I started to write the book that I just finished up. And I'm like, there's no way I would have talked about myself as divinely dignified until I really truly came home. And by come home was I made peace. And that's what my work is about. That's why I do what I do. And people say, oh, well, she's not talking to the dead right now. She's not doing this. I am channeling. I am in spirit world right now. I am channeling through as a mystic, as a prophetess, as a healer. I do this work to help people be able to spiritually and emotionally heal, to be able to live in the best of you, to be able to receive one message and not be able to take that message and to be able to bring the change within your life that you need to do or to start action steps. It's not going to be of service. Those who have passed over, that have waited, that have created, found that place to their heaven out there, what they always tell us that we are here to create heaven on earth. We're not here to wait to die. You're not here to live in freaking misery. You have this short life. And why they come back and why they tell us from what they remember, what they've carried back, is that they have transmuted. They have let that go. They know the power of love and light from where they are. And they're telling us that we need to find that upon this earth. It is time for us to live in that. And that the more that you rely upon this human little world and the people around you to provide everything for you that you need to find within yourself, the more misery you're going to be in. And that's a truth. And that comes with the blog that I just wrote today, actually. You need to hear this today? Well, good. See, I'm glad you're here to hear it. And so this is the beautiful Benevolence, or beautiful Perphone. She's not phony. She's being real and honest, and they all are. And if you look really closely, it's so amazing the things that are inside of these cards and the presence that's in these cards. And if you look, there's like little gems and little crystals that appear. They're like pinky little stones. And I know Krista Curtis had these stones because I had these stones from her, and they were an aura stone. So they were like I had an aqua aura that was like infused with like this bluish green color, but I can't remember what it was called. It was like a rainbowy, but it was like pinky color. And all of those stones that were so full of like kid-like colors, like pastel colors. People would come into sessions with me and they would hold them and they literally would rub color off into their hands. Like they would hold those stones like this. They wouldn't pick this up so much as they would pick up the colored stones, and they would just sit like this. And so it's our connection to all that encompasses the color, the feeling that color gives us. So the more colorful that our thoughts, our creativity, our imagination is, in the highest good, not in the lower vibrating energy, but in that higher good, the more that we can see our lives in such a more, like, put on your freaking rose colored glasses someday. I don't care. And just see the world, see your future, feel it as more colorful, happier, more content. And then you'll start to see other people that way. When you can see people that way, you start to be able to know that, you know what? It's not so bad. It's not so bad. People are not so bad. It's not so bad out there. And no, we're not in the best of times. Like, there's no doubt. But this is a time for us to come together for each other and to be of service to each other. Sorry, I had to turn my blind the other direction. So one last card before I go. We just can't get out of this day. We can't get out of any of these readings. I think every single zodiac reading that went up had this card in it. Wholeness, right? Aqua or quartz, rainbow color, depends on what metal. Yeah, it was heat treated with. Yes, that's it. So the rainbow color depends on what metal it was heat treated with. Krista Curtis owns Krista's Creations. She is the queen of crystals and stones. She's my go-to. She's my dear friend. And she's the one who truly tells me about the things that I need to know about my stones. And I say this, this dealer that I met and then she met, and I'm like, this crystal dealer, all three of these stones came from like a dealer guy out of New York. And this is multivite. This is multivite. This is smoky quartz. And this is my Herkimer diamond. And if I want to know anything that I don't know, I channel. So I channel what is needed at the time and I pick up stone. And so then I go to Krista and I'm like, Krista. So Krista's Creations. She, the queen of stones, the queen. But if you need that energy to hold, something to be able to charge up, to be able to remember your worth. Thank you. Yes. So she's Krista Curtis Creations. Krista Curtis Creations. And Krista is spelled with a K. Krista is spelled with a K. And she is online. And she does answer our messages. And so the other card that came out is our wholeness. It is that return to the essence of us. I just got to make room to bring this card up for us. Rebirth Purity is her name. And if you can see, oh, where did I just go? My screen just disappeared. Okay. And so if you look at the card really closely, you can see there that those two are not alone in the picture. Right? And they're not alone. We are never alone. We are always divinely guided. Wholeness, zero is not. Nothing is everything. And when in spirituality, when you connect to, it's like, I feel empty. I feel like I have nothing. And I go, good. I'm glad I'm glad you're there, because now we can work from there. We can work from that. Not that I'm good, not that I'm glad that things are not in your life, but I'm glad that you're feeling something, because the moment you feel empty, then that means you're no longer numb. Now you're feeling, you can actually feel, because as long as you were filling up on the light and the energy of somebody else, and you were being empowered and enlightened by everybody else and not of your own, then you truly were imposter light. You were not living in your truth. And your truth is that when you can feel for you, when you actually can start to feel something, you are starting to actually awaken, and you're starting to be able to connect that now you know. And so rebirth is that when you've been through the challenges, like it's like when the world spits you out, when the world spits you out, and then you have that eureka moment, that thought moment, that of worth moment, of value moment that says, yes, like I know I have to do something. You're holding your new life. You're holding your new future in your hand. You don't know what to do. It is like a new mother. I don't know what to do with these babies. All I know is I'm holding love. So when you start to feel for yourself, you're holding love. You're holding on to something now. Now you have something you can't feel, you can't grab it, you can't connect it, but you can feel it. And you can feel that love. Well, you got to sit with that love long enough to be able to recharge, to be able to feel healthy again, to be able to feel connected again. Because this is the issue with everyone who starts out in this kind of work or in this kind of, the moment somebody gets that first twinge of, oh my God, I'm I'm an intuitive. I can hear, I can, I can connect. And well, we all have intuition. Everybody has intuition. It don't mean it's your calling. It don't mean that it's for you to take and go out and give out into the world and become a healer, to become anything right away. It means that it's the intuition that gives you the ability to look back at your life and think about where you have been, what you've experienced, how many red flags you ignored, how many things that you just said, oh, I knew that, but I didn't listen. It's about first being able to listen to you, being able to clear out the clutter, gaining clarity. When you gain the clarity, you start to come into this place of purity, innocence, returning to that pause, that place. Okay, now I've been running around on wild for all of these years. Now I'm ready to listen. And you truly have to be ready to listen. And when you start to listen, you don't cut, you don't use fillers. You don't go, oh, but, oh, so, wait. Let me tell you. No, okay, I got it. I don't need any more. I got it. All of those are all things that are still attached to ego. I know, I've been there. It's that place when you pause and you just listen. And you listen with such compassion, such a hold into you, and you stay until the end. And all the way through the book of the way, I say, you know what? When you come in here and you're not getting chosen and you take off and you leave and you're like, she got nothing to give. You don't realize that what I'm channeling through is divine love. And the messages that are coming, you're not talking to just the Corrie, you're talking to the divine, to the energy that channels through. That as long as you are present within this, you are receiving the healing and the messages that you need, whether or not you accept it right now, whether or not you hold on to it, because everything you keep forgetting is everything that you just don't want to remember. And Lisa Star Francis gave me a reminder that yesterday when she was teaching the class, and it's so true. And we were talking about that, and it was like, yes, that's exactly right. It's once I could start to accept, I could truly hold, right? Hold everything that I needed to know, that I needed to hear, because there's a difference in knowledge and wisdom, a huge difference. No matter how much knowledge you think you've gained upon this earth, that's coming through of like a translation. Wisdom is what we receive in the still, in the silence. Those messages, those things that you didn't want to listen to. It is called the place where your soul language, where your soul voice starts to speak to you on such a level that you cannot deny it. That persistence, when you say, I just can't get out of, it's like something is talking to me all the time and I can't let it. And it's not talking to you for you to give it to somebody else. It is talking to you for you to let it absorb into you so that you can question yourself on such a powerful way of saying, why, what, how. And that's how we begin the new journey. That's how we start to be able to move forward. And this card really, truly represents a lot for me in the essence of holding that dear child. And I spent a lot of years holding one child with such love and also carrying guilt for another child who didn't get to come. And so I held on to the story. I held on to my past experiences with such conviction and such hold that I lived in such misery, hurt, and pain for way too many years because all I could feel was the guilt. And I just felt guilty, even for looking into the eyes of the child I did have, and for the essence that I had taken away something that was also probably meant to be hers. And so when you live with that for so long, when I surrendered over that story, when I placed that story in the hands of Mother Mary, as she said to me, I gave you my son, now give me yours. That message stayed with me, and it was life-changing for me. And it don't have to be a child or something of that essence. It could be an issue that you're unwilling to let, that you just, it's like you hold on to the burdens and the worries. You have to surrender it over. I don't know how to deal with this. I'm going to just surrender it, and I'm going to trust that you're going to provide for me what I need. And it's not going to always come out the way that you want it to. You're not going to get what you want. And thank God I didn't get what I wanted. Thank God I didn't get the things that I wanted. Because receiving everything that I needed was truly that you have to walk the hard road. You have to make some of the hard decisions. But what we receive in return, the ultimate level of love, the ultimate level of compassion, to be able to see your worth and your value. And I don't just mean in like how people treat you. I mean how you treat yourself, so that you're no longer the enemy to you. Because every one of those arguments that you're not willing to have truly keeps you wanting to wait to get out of here to live in heaven. You're here to create that peace upon earth. This is the mystic. This is 7. And in tarot, 7 would be in each suit. In each suit of the tarot, the 7 would be that pivotal turning point where you stop arguing with yourself, when you stop going to war with yourself, and you just get right there and you start to see you're at the top. And at the top, you have a choice. You can start looking over the horizon of what else is possible. And I don't know what it's all going to look like, but I just know I have to go. Or you can look back through the misery and you can keep going back that direction. The choice is always yours. You do get to decide which direction, because you have free will. So your free will choices and decision, you can't blame a God out there that you only believe in when you want to lay blame in, or when you're in desperation. It is an energy. It is a connection. It is something that brings us home to us. It is, what am I doing and how am I contributing to everything that I am allowing in my life? And when you can start to set yourself free of that, you start a new journey. You've got to be willing to go all 360. And if you can't go all 360, you're always going to be swinging back around. That's how we break cycles. And 360 is a big part of More Than Existing. That's a creation that we added into More Than Existing to really, truly show us that there's always that one last piece, and you've got to be willing to do that work. That's on you. So I hope this resonates with you. And if you've been here from beginning to end, like the book The Way says, is thank God I stayed till the end, because you never know when there's going to be one little word, one little message that's going to hit your heart, penetrate, and you're going to know, this is what I needed. This I've heard. I now hear this. And you may have heard it 1,000 times before, but now I'm actually hearing it for the first time in a way that I know I need to bring it into my life. And so I hope this helps in some way. I'm so glad that I did get to come in today. Like I said, it's normally mornings that I've been in lately. I will be coming back in mediumship. Just getting back all of this, getting my throat back, trying to get healthy, fully healthy in my throat. It's getting better now that I'm talking a lot less. And I'm talking a lot less and listening a whole lot more. So thank you, thank you. Hello, my dear friend Paula, Raina, hi. Everyone else who's been joining in, Dana, who else? Felicia, yes, I think I spoke, right? Oh, you were out for a walk and wasn't going to come in, but something told me to be here now. I know why, right? Exactly. That's why you listened. Hello, everyone else, Gail, Auntie Jack, hi. And Sweets, Jeannie, hi. Hi, everybody. Nicole, Tracy, hello. And this is on YouTube and Facebook. But also, if you did not see on my Facebook page today, or you've not seen my Facebook, if you're on YouTube, there is another link. I have 2 YouTube channels. So I have what is called She Is Podcast. She Is Podcast is brand new. I think there's only like 28 followers or subscribers in there yet. And that, because I only just launched it. It just launched last week. It is a podcast based on Corrie. It is me just being me, not channeled in, not in all that energy, speaking about the journey. She is her own creation. She is worthy. She is. And so it is, I think there's 8 podcasts in there right now that you can watch. And the link is posted in Facebook down below, that you can go into there and you can watch that new podcast. And then, of course, my other Corrie Thorne Spiritual Healer on YouTube, that one is full of new stuff. There is a new moon message and meditation. It's a little bit out there, not going to lie. It is a little bit out there. I never know what's coming when my mouth opens to channel in those messages. So the meditation starts at 20:07. So you can skip past the message. If you don't want to listen to the message, you can go right to the meditation. But it's all there for each and every one of you to be able to enjoy. So please check out my new podcast. I have such love for it. It is just filling my heart to be able to do something that is just Corrie. And yeah. So, and please subscribe and get notifications. We need to build it up. And also, if you are watching my other videos on YouTube, please subscribe to my channels. It's so important. And I am on TikTok apparently now, and I'm so glad I did. I've had so many messages from people that just filled my heart. I had a message the other day that one woman said, I found this just popped up and I didn't know where else to turn today. And so you just never, ever know. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Lisa just posted a link to the YouTube channel for you. She just put it up there. So thank you, Lisa. And Lisa also has one called Loving Energy Recharge that she also does her weekly energy reports. That's in there as well on her YouTube channel that she recently just launched. So check that one out as well and her Facebook page. So thank you all for being here with me. And I will talk to you again tomorrow morning. I think I'm back. I should be back around 10:30 tomorrow morning. No road trips tomorrow. Mwah. Much love. Have a beautiful night. Bye-bye.